That one, when he was much younger, he would throw tantrums like I must okay, daddy hello John. Like,
mommy made me cry that day, so she said she wasn't my mom.
Yeah, you gotta look for your mom.
Hello and welcome on the E.B.U.N show. On this episode, we're going to be discussing managing our affection among our children. So, some certain things have been happening in my family where when my husband wants to step out, he gets to hug one of my children, and then the other one is struggling, I must get my hug. And if by mistake he absent-mindedly steps out without giving that particular child a hug, it becomes something else. Now, that might sound simple, but I begin to think about it that it is actually deeper than hugs and kisses. It is the reason why some siblings begin to fight themselves bitterly over issues, fighting over properties, wondering if they don't belong to the same mother, and all other stuff like that. And that is why I'm going to have my friend on this episode. Her name is Fola Gbadebo. She has 3 children, a son and then twin, 1 boy, 1 girl. I call her E.B.U.N. And we're going to be discussing being able to manage the tendency to be drawn towards certain traits in a particular child, how we deal with it to make every one of them feel loved, and then in general being good parents. You're welcome on this episode. Funny baby.
Hello.
Yeah, Beji. Don't be formal. Fola is my friend, though. Like, paddy.
Am I formal? Maybe I'm just shy to be here.
Now we have children. And we've had issues of, you see, most of the complications we see in the world right now is siblings fighting one another, saying this is the father's favorite, or maybe during, maybe someone passes on and it's time to read out the will. And then there's somebody that's getting more than the other person, then MEC starts. Now we are there. We have children. Is it possible not to notice that you like the features of one child over the other? Is it possible not to notice that this one is more like me than this one?
Is it possible? I don't think it's possible. You would always notice me. Like, I mean, you have 3 people, like they always say, like fingers are not equal. So I don't think it's impossible for you not to notice that, okay, this person has certain features that I'm liking. You get? And this one, I wish he didn't have this particular attribute. And you know, so it's like a normal, it's just like when you're working with people, like day-to-day activities. So it's like a given. It would be there, it is there. But how to now manage it
is the cocoa. You know, I've had certain experiences, not personally, but like a family friend, where the mother made it obvious that she likes this particular one. This one is finer. Of course, everybody can see that this one is finer and this one is not as fine as this one. Now, talking personally, there was one thing that happened where someone said, Shemilori and Momori. And someone said, Momori is not as fair as Shemilori.
Oh, dear.
And I'm like, hello. So, I don't understand. Because the way the person said, and I'm like, excuse me, we don't know that children register it.
Yes.
And it is
and
there.
It comes to play like much later. It should now appear like, okay, when it comes to this particular child, don't even go, don't joke with him or her. So I get what you're saying, really, and it's a thing, like I said. But if I'm also to talk like from a personal experience now, I would say I know that there are some things that I see right now. I know that there are some things that, okay, maybe this one, you're too stubborn. Someone can never even talk to you one time and you will listen. My Timmy, one of my boys.
One of the 2.
That one, if you talk to him now, if that is when go, you now be going to do that today. I say don't go and do. But the girl, if I knows, she will get the message like, oh, mommy is scolding me, and she leaves. Yeah, of course, naturally that will be the preferred one, because she listens to you, she does what you want her to do. Meanwhile, our bros here is forming masculinity, is forming as the man, and he's doing agidi with the mommy. You get? But what I just do is, and I think what I want to continue to do is, I now kind of focus on other positives of the supposed, I don't want to say less preferred now, of the one that, you know, has the other trait, you know. So I want to now like focus on the positives. I want to focus on even the physicals, like, okay, this is my baby, you know, we are going nowhere, we are stuck in this thing together, right? You're going to grow older, well, I'm going to groom you to becoming a better person. And your sister that thankfully has the better traits, of course we need to work towards retaining those traits, because the one that is good today, listen, if you don't manage it very well, may begin to exactly. And also one thing is, with age they change.
Yes, there are phases to them.
Yes, so it could be that at this particular stage, this is the attribute this person is displaying, just maybe by the circumstances around him or her, or just by just being naughty, or for whatever reasons. A year after that, or even 6 months, like my first child, Tomiwa, that one, when he was much younger, he would throw tantrums like I must, okay, daddy hello John, like, because that stubbornness and everything is all from me, I think.
So are you sure?
I am sure. Anyway, so but over time, you talk to him now, and he's like, okay, mama.
Are you serious?
Do you get? You tell him, okay, go and drop the plate now. Oh, okay, mama. Do you understand? So he's getting there, and even whilst he was exhibiting those other unwanted traits, whilst he was doing all those things, I was able to, thank God. I mean, there are so many clips now. There are so many articles, you know, so many awareness things, you know, going on right now that, you know, like constantly put mothers in the know of how to better manage their kids. Yeah.
And so, you know, I think that we parents, we always like to judge the second child on the background of the first child.
Yes.
So, like, I had Shemi Lori. We've spent 3 years together before Momore came. You are used to a certain way of mother or parents, child kind of thing. With the first one. So the second one comes and she's totally different, and you're like,
Yeah, but they used to say now, even pregnancy journey.
Yeah, there are no two pregnancies. So what I'm learning to do is take each child as an individual, and not begin to judge them like, what are they? Now I can joyfully identify things they do that amuse me. Like Momore has a mind of their own, of her own rather. See, tell Momore, don't touch this thing, and she goes to sleep. If she had 3 hours sleep, when she wakes up, she's going back right there. So you can easily say, this one is stubborn, okay. But you know, there might be some positivity to that. The fact that she slept for 3 hours and she did not forget the activity she was doing is something that you should watch, and not totally try to even discourage, like, no, don't be like this. Don't. We constantly try to compare our children. Another thing about this matter that really had been in my mind before I even had a family. So my mom called us. My mom had 5 girls. Okay. And she just called us one day, and we were wondering what she was doing. And she said, she was asking that, who is her favorite amongst all of us?
She was asking you?
Yes, she was asking with the children that, who is my favorite? So she'll point to you, you will say your own. She'll ask you why. So she made all of us talk. But you know, at the end of the day, what she was trying to do is, none of you is my favorite. And I realized that all of us could not mention a name in unison. Like, you know, if like 3 of us or 4 of us had mentioned one person's name in particular, it would have been that, we've seen it. But you know, like this one mentioned someone else's name, maybe at most one name came up like twice. So we weren't really sure, and she really took her time to tell us that all of you are important to me. Don't think, because you know, when you're young then and they keep scolding you for something, it gets to a point that you don't realize that you are the one who is in the wrong. You just say, they must hate me. Mommy like this person over this person.
I think I once questioned my what's the English now? Like I once questioned my parents that, are you sure
You gave birth?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Because there was, I mean, not like they were even very strict and all, but there are just some things they were doing and I'm like, why now? Why now? You get.
You know, I asked my mommy once if she was my mom. And mommy made me cry that day, so she said she wasn't my mom.
Yeah, you gotta look for your mom. Right. Maybe that time would always come. Like so leveraging on those experiences that we had growing up, I believe we should be better for it now in managing our own children. And you know, this age, it's like God is even creating these children differently. They are so smart.
Really?
Like they preempt your next action. So you need to even like consciously work towards being ahead of them at every freaking time.
Yeah.
So
I think parenting is a mindful business.
it is.
You have to be mindful of the things you do. Then
in their presence.
In their presence,
Yeah.
you have to be present. It's not as if you're so busy, carried away with what you're doing. You have to pay attention to them. Because so when my baby came, like my mom said, very soon now you'll be telling your first child, don't touch my baby. Do you understand? I was very conscious of that because they begin to see that, oh, do you now like this new baby more than? And we've had things like that where you hear toddlers say, take the baby to where it came from. Like, I don't want to see this baby again and all of that. It's because they are interpreting everything happening around that time as though you don't want them again.
Anymore.
Then growing, I would always ask Shemilore that you are the big sister now. Let her have this. But now I'm beginning to scold Momore for Shemilore.
Yeah,
because
right?
yes, all that I found myself always telling her to let things go
for Momore.
Meanwhile, if you give Momore something to play with now, she'll drop it and go back to what she
and that can if you're not careful, that could even you know bring up a level of entitlement on her part. Yes.
And she would always feel she can always have her way.
Yeah.
So those kind of attempts, don't expect your child, the first child or the older child, to always be mature. When he or she feels he needs to play with something and they take it first, please allow them. Don't always tell them to sacrifice, because later on in life they will interpret it as anything like, I always have to let things go for people, or maybe my parents actually love the other one more than me.
Yeah, I actually just remember something. So you know, with is it toddlers now, it could be stressful. Like you go to work, you get back, you have to attend to them, you have to do dinner and all of that. So there was this particular evening I was tired. So one of the twins was crying. I had to, like, you know, cuddle, and the other one was just somewhere. Then the Egbon now came. Now I was trying to get my attention, like, Mama, do you know, I screamed him off, like, leave me alone, I'm tired, just go and sort it. Thankfully, as in like a split second, I just realized what I did.
What you did?
Then I had to call him back, then hugged him, like, oh, come, I'm sorry, I'm just stressed. I talked to him like he was older than his age. But I think what I tried to achieve there was, I didn't want to make him feel less I didn't want him to feel like, okay,
his feeling at that point was valid.
He wanted my attention.
Mom, you brought him into the world,
right?
You know.
So I think this issue of wanting to like one over another is a natural something.
Everybody has the tendency.
Everybody has a tendency.
It is now working on it.
And you know, like there's something Yoruba to buy from a way more about your right?
Like if you compare children, you might kill one literally.
Yes, because each child has his or her own peculiarity, has his or her own differences, and as parents, we're supposed to know better, right? And I know that I've seen mothers, like older mothers, that are falling off with their children, especially the first one, the first child, because of paying too much attention to
the younger ones.
Yes, the younger ones. And you know, gradually the relationship was severed. Gradually, and before you knew what was happening, there was no relationship. And now at a very much later age, the woman is trying to like get back
But
to the
he
but-
appears too late.
Yes, because when he needed her, when they wanted the relationship, you were not there. You were busy, taking care of, But you wouldn't blame the mother then either, because
She didn't know
better.
than-
Yes, but thankfully, well, most of us now, we know better. At least like you made a statement earlier, it's a conscious effort. It's because it would happen. My point is, some traits are naturally inherent in kids. So identifying them, knowing them, studying them, even
Yes.
if you have to,
And knowing how to
Yes,
deal
knowing
with it.
how to
Not trying
manage
to
it.
kill the trait.
yes, because at some point that supposed weak trait may come in handy for a particular situation.
Yes.
Yeah, and the overbearing attitude of one child may also have its positives at
Just
some point.
try to curb it. At the end of the day, I think the cocoa we're trying to say is, first, identify that there is the tendency to gel towards a child more. Because if you do not identify it, you would not even realize that there's something to
doing
be
it.
worked upon.
Yeah.
So check yourself. You're listening to us now. Sit down and check yourself. How have I been behaving? It might be very subtle, but the way children soak things in, you do not, and you don't know how they get to interpret these things. Yes. So
and how long it will linger on in them.
So try to manage it. Do not always compare them and tell one to behave like the other. They are separate individuals, and you should nurture them in their individuality.
It's a learning curve. We're still learning, and we would always learn. Yeah, let's just be more open, to nobody's, and don't think, okay, I have 3 kids, I have 4 kids, I know it all. I was able to bring them up. There's always room to do better.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Folly Baby.
Thanks so much for having me. It's really a pleasure.
Let us know in what way you're struggling with this thing. Did you experience it? Are you having issues like that with your children presently? Let me know how you're dealing with it in the comment section. Thank you so much for being a part of the episode today. See you next time. Feel free to share, to like, and of course, you can have excerpts of it on your statuses. Bye.